The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
Morning, critics, and welcome to the 14th episode of the Recreational Critics Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, with my co-host,
J-Dan.
Where we talk streaming service films with our unqualified opinions. This week, we're doing the movie John Henry, the modern tale of a random guy who shares the same name of an American legend. No relation.
At all.
Yeah, it's terrible, but we'll get there. Before we do, we're going to talk about our week, some news, and then we'll get right into the movie. If you want to skip around, there will be timestamps down in the description. So, what did you do this week, J-Dan?
Not a whole lot.
What's it Dan for? Is that your middle name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I knew that.
It's a strong middle name.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like it. Daniel. Damn.
Yep.
You get that a lot for your family? Damn, Daniel.
No.
I'm gonna start doing that to you now.
Good for you.
You don't care, do you?
Not really.
Okay. Well, anyway, what'd you do this week?
Not a whole lot. I went back to work for a good part of the week.
Yeah.
So.
I've been working out every day.
Good for you.
Yep. I'm back on the grind.
Back in it.
Yeah.
Is the gym back open?
Yes.
Good.
So a couple gyms are back open, and I'm deciding which ones are the ones I want to go to.
Yeah.
Because remember how I used this bounce around from gym to gym?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still doing that.
Hey. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, Naomi's sister asked me to help her lose weight, and I'm always excited to help people with that kind of stuff. So I was like, if you want, but I won't be nice about it. She's like, are you okay? 3 days in, and she's like, I'm dying.
Tell me exactly what you mean by not nice.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. She was doing circuit training with me a couple days ago at the track, and she wanted to stop and sit down. I was like, get the fuck up.
That's motivating.
Well, because she told me, she's like, don't be too nice about it. Don't let me just give up. And I was like, all right.
Are you motivated by things like that?
I am.
I am not at all.
You not?
No.
I kind of figured you would after what you had to go through to get into the job you're in right now.
Nope.
Didn't work for you at all?
Nope.
It works for me 100%.
Yeah.
Whenever my coach be like, you're doing just, I can track and all that stuff. And my coach be like, Jason, you're doing just great. No, don't fucking tell me that. Tell me I need to do better. Tell me to run faster.
That's not a good motivational tactic either.
Okay. What do you like then?
I like expectation management, and I don't know.
I like being the best.
Yeah.
So my drive was always being better than somebody else. And the problem was...
But someone yelling at you that your shit makes you feel like you should succeed?
If there's someone doing better than me and I'm being yelled at, I'm going to just try and do better than that guy.
Right.
And the yelling helps me kind of get there.
Yeah.
But in track, there was always this guy, Brandon, who just... The guy would run 20 miles a day, and I don't think he broke a sweat. There was no beating this guy. He was a monster.
He's just different.
Yeah. He had almost sub 4 mile time in high school.
That's cooking.
And then he got a gluten allergy when he was 18, and he had to give up running.
It's rough.
Yeah. This guy couldn't stop running until gluten got in him, and he was all done. And you can't keep up running
Nothing
like that.
could stop me except bread.
Yeah. I thought he was fucking with us because I was a kid. I didn't know gluten was a thing. I was like, you're allergic to bread? He's like, yeah, man, I just found out.
9 years ago, gluten allergies weren't really well known.
Right, and because, celiac disease wasn't a very well-documented and diagnosed thing. Now it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hit him pretty bad when they found out it was gluten doing it to him. I hope he's doing good. He was a DJ at one of the Christmas parties we had for work. Ooh. I saw him one time, and I was like, oh, that's what he's doing now.
Tearing it up.
Yep, whatever. So did you see all the countries that are now listening to us?
Yeah, I did.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
I think another one got added. I want to look at it real quick.
We're international.
We're international. Who do you remember? We have Ireland on here, South Korea, the UK, Germany, Australia, Poland, Portugal, Canada, and the United States.
I thought I saw South Korea on there.
I said South Korea.
Oh, did you?
It was the second one I said.
Oh.
Yeah. Did I say it weird?
I
Was it my lisp?
I may have just blacked it out.
Yeah. I'm going to be more surprised when North Korea starts listening to us.
I might get worried at that point.
Hopefully it's just somebody on the VPN just fucking with us. I might do that now. I might go to NordVPN and move us to North Korea.
From Pyongyang.
This is Jason and J-Dan. I enrolled my kid in school.
Did you?
So she starts kindergarten in August, maybe, if coronavirus doesn't kill us all.
Well, my oldest does as well.
There you go. Where's she going? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I forgot about that. We'll talk about that later. Are you excited?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I just want school to be somewhat normal.
Right. We got to probably put her in latchkey before, maybe after. I don't know what my schedule for work's going to be.
Yeah.
Come then. But I'm going to save a fortune on daycare costs. And that's all I care about.
Started from the bottom, now you're here.
And I'm going probably go back to the bottom in a couple of years whenever me and Naomi have children. But that's where we're at. What were we talking about before that?
What we did this week. You were going to the gym.
Yep, gym, countries, kid, school. That's it.
Yeah.
So I already did. It's Memorial Day weekend today. Do you have any plans?
Today is Memorial Day weekend.
Yep. It's part of the weekend. It's Saturday of the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans?
Not really.
Besides this?
I grilled today.
Okay. What'd you grill?
Burgers.
You didn't bring me any?
My neighbor's having like a blowout block party. There was probably 25 cars.
Oh my God.
Parked in front of his house.
He didn't even give me a text message.
It's my neighbor's party. He's responsible for texting you, not me.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
Which neighbor is it though? If I'm looking at your house, is the one on the left?
Yes.
They have a pretty nice little house.
Yeah. They're fantastic people.
Good. I wish we had block parties here, but everyone here is old.
Yes.
I got nothing else for recap unless you got anything.
Nope.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the first bit of news? The Justice League Snyder Cut got pitched to HBO Max, and it is now a thing.
I know.
No reshoots, no nothing, and they were able to announce who they cast at Darkseid, and you will see him.
They announced who they cast as him?
Well, they originally did cast someone, and he did some filming, and then, the whole Zack Snyder thing happened.
Yeah.
And he backed out. They pulled Darkseid out of the movie. And
who was the original person?
His name is Ray Porter. He's a nobody actor.
Okay.
He just does, side roles in, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's something else I saw that he was in, but he's just a nobody. He's like a biker-looking guy.
Okay.
But he kind of looks the role. You can look him up now.
That's what I'm doing. Why don't you leave me alone?
Well, okay. Well, we'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't recognize this fellow at all.
No, he's not really in anything big. He's just a side guy. But yeah, he got on Twitter and he's like, well, now I've been given permission to say it. I was cast and I did film as Darkseid.
Nice.
So I'm kind of excited for the Snyder Cut.
How bad do you think it's going to be?
I think it'll be better.
No, I mean quality-wise. Do you think there's going to be a lot of green screen stuff?
No, did you actually hear how they're doing it?
Uh-uh.
They're actually bringing in the original editing crew, the original score crew, the directors, and all the actors. But they're not doing any reshoots.
Okay.
It's just I don't know why they're bringing in the actors again, but it's got to be for something. I don't know how movies are made, so who knows. But they're going to make it into a fully fledged, either a 4-part or 6-part series on HBO Max with cliffhangers is how they intend to do it.
When's it going to be?
2021. So, are you not excited? Are you not entertained?
I'm not excited. I'm sorry.
Why?
I'll watch it. I will watch it.
What if Green Lantern's in it? Because I thought he was going to originally be in it.
Green Lanterns were in it.
One was for sure. And then
they showed them in
the
a
whole
war.
army. Yeah. And then one died, and the ring flew off, and then you're like, okay, yeah, here we go. Green Lantern's
and then
coming
Diggle from Arrow got it.
I don't like hearing that. Did that happen in the Arrowverse?
Yeah.
I hope the Arrowverse has nothing to do with any of these properties ever again. And then we have news on the Arrowverse, but we'll get on that later. Yeah, they made another show. I think she's connected to the Arrowverse.
Okay.
She might not be. Who knows? We'll come back to that later. So Netflix is canceling inactive accounts. So basically, if you don't use your Netflix account for the last year, they're going to email you. If you don't respond, they're just going to delete your account.
There's a lot of people that set up a 1-month email that are going to be losing those old accounts.
Right. But is that only if you haven't used it in over a year?
Yeah.
If you haven't been watching Netflix for over a year, wouldn't you like to lose it? Because then you're just saving money at that point.
Oh, so they're canceling accounts that are still paying.
Yeah.
That's a bad business decision.
That's what I thought. It's weird, isn't it?
I would think inactive means you're not paying for it.
No. They're canceling people who aren't Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is inactive subscriptions.
Yeah, because no business ever is going to turn down free money.
Yeah, but they're probably looking for a good publicity stunt to get them back on top. because you have Disney Plus and Hulu and all them and Amazon Prime that are kind of
cutting earnings is not a way to do that.
That's true. But good publicity is a way to do that, though.
They don't really care about what the public thinks as long as the shareholders are happy.
That's true. Maybe it is just inactive accounts for people who, dude, I don't know what I'm talking about. I read stuff on Screen Rant and Variety and Empire.
You're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and I'm just telling you it's on the floor.
I don't like what you just told me. So how about that? How you like that one?
It is what it is.
All right. Well, okay. Pirates is getting another movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's probably going to be a reboot, is what they're looking at.
Do you think they have Amber Heard as the villain?
That's fucked up.
But not pay her anything.
Right. Not even really be Amber Heard.
Because she's a real life villain.
Right. So Johnny Depp, is it just Johnny Depp's domestic violence dispute case?
Yes.
Is defamation case?
Yes.
But they're on a boat.
Correct.
Davy Jones is there. He's the judge.
And even he's like,
ugh. I don't want to see anything to do with this. I wanted to give the Pirates movies a good shot.
The last one wasn't any good either.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I only liked the first one, I think, and maybe the second one.
Yeah. They all blend together. The first three were fine enough.
Sure.
And then they did the weird one
that
didn't have anybody in it.
Yeah.
And then they did the last one that had Orlando Bloom in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was at the very end, wasn't he?
Beginning or end.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I can't remember what it was about. His dad or some shit like that came back from the dead.
Yeah, I think so.
Or somebody came back from the dead. I think it's the guy that played Silva in Skyfall.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. What's the name of that movie? At World's End? No, that's not it.
I can't remember.
Pirates 5. I'm just going to look that one up. I'm sure that'll pop up somewhere. Dead Man Tell No Tales. That's what it's called. If I remember right, it had 2 different names depending on what country you were in. So it did. It was Salazar's Revenge if you were in the UK. I don't know why movies do that. Books do that also, like Harry Potter. Yeah. Harry Potter was called the Philosopher's Stone in England, but they didn't feel like Americans were smart enough to know what a philosopher was, so sorcerer sounded better. Javier Bardem. I like him.
I do as well.
I especially like him he is in Skyfall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and No Country for Old Men. I don't need to watch that movie again. That's a great movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm not excited for a Pirates 6 reboot, but I'm sure Disney is just throwing stuff at the wall now, hoping for something to stick.
I'm sure it'll be entertaining enough
to justify it.
Yeah.
With that, have you heard about the movie Lovebirds? Starring Issa Rae and I can't get his name right. I think I've done this podcast already. Nemeo Kunjiani or something like that. He's the one that got super
Kumail Nanjiani.
That one. Say it again.
I think that's it.
Yeah. I apologize.
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, I apologize. I can't pronounce his name right. I've tried. I've read it out loud, and it's like, I can't do it. He's in it. They were supposed to go to theaters, I think this month or last month. However, with coronavirus, Paramount was like, we're going to lose money on the whole deal and push it over to Netflix.
Yeah.
So now it's a Netflix original.
I'm sure Netflix paid $400 million for it.
Right. So Netflix original, even though they did none of the work for it. Which is
that's the way it is most of the time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times things premiere at film festivals and then they'll buy it.
Gotcha. So that's what they did for this movie. And so technically it wouldn't be up for Oscars.
Because it didn't do any theater time.
It didn't do any theater time. It has to premiere in a theater.
The Oscars will be interesting next year.
Yeah. Very limited. I wonder if they'll change the rules. Because Academy gets together every year and votes on like the rules for next year's Academy. And I wonder if they're going to change their rule to be like, well, maybe we should allow videos on demand to count because otherwise we're just like, we got Marvel movies, Disney movies, which is all Disney.
Yeah.
That's all they got. They don't really have a whole lot to choose from. So.
Especially this year.
Right. I actually kind of want to watch that one next week. I hear it's good.
Okay.
I don't know. You have any other suggestions? We're committing?
Yep.
Right now? Okay. Lovebirds it is. My last bit of news is on Stargirl. I talked about it earlier, Arrowverse stuff.
Okay.
So she got a TV show people are loving, I guess, or got a lot of buzz this week. You know who Stargirl is?
Mm-mm.
You watched the Justice League cartoon as a kid.
I did.
Right? Remember the Unlimited one where they brought in like a bunch of people?
Yes.
She was in like a kind of like Captain America suit, red, white, and blue with stars, and she had like a gold staff.
Okay.
And her stepdad followed her around in an Iron Man suit.
All right.
Yeah, that's her. So she's basically just a girl with magic powers from a magic wand called Stargirl. I don't remember her origin too much. I try not to. She's one of those bullshit characters like Squirrel Girl.
Okay, yeah.
You recognize her now?
Yep.
Yeah, and her dad's Iron Man, basically. But not rich Iron Man. He's like just a mechanic who's has an Iron Man suit. His name's Stripe, I think.
And you said this is going to be in the Arrowverse?
I think it might be. I mean, DC's, doing this show, and it kind of looks like it's the same production quality as all the other ones. I'll look it up. Stargirl TV show.
A DC Universe original. Stargirl.
Yeah.
Got Luke Wilson in it.
Is Luke Wilson in it?
That's what this thing says.
Oh. Stargirl and her team were briefly introduced in the Arrowverse crossover Crisis at Infinite Earths in January 2020. So yes, she will be. So she originally started out on their crossover event earlier this year and is now getting her own show.
Huh.
And it is certified fresh. She was one of the characters created by Jeff Johns back in the late 90s.
Did you hear Ruby Rose backed out of being Batgirl already?
Did she really?
Yeah.
That was quick.
They did one season.
Oh. Why did... Oh, because it was bad. I'm sure, right?
I didn't watch it. I can't really stomach any of the Arrowverse shows anymore.
I can't either. It's all the same demographic, and they all have the same production quality, and they just suck.
The first couple seasons, like I've talked about before, first couple seasons of Arrow were really good, and then those writers left and went to Flash.
Yep, which did really well.
First few seasons of Flash were really good.
The first season of Legends of Tomorrow did very well.
And then they did the
Supergirl,
the Thinker, or whatever his name was, and it was bad.
No, it was well, they did the Thinker, but before that they did somebody else. What was his name? He started with an A. Avatar? No. Alchemist.
Yeah.
Alchemist or some shit like that. That was really bad. Savitar. They had the God.
I didn't mind
Speedrunner.
I didn't mind the Savitar season.
I did. The CGI was just too much for me.
Yeah.
You try and throw too much.
The CGI was pretty decent. The actual prosthetic costume
for Savitar,
awful.
Yeah, it was terrible. And I was like, I can't get behind this anymore.
Yeah, it was like poor cosplay.
Right. Speaking of that, I was watching Star Wars this week, Revenge of the Sith. CGI is so bad in that movie. I understand it's 2005 and whatever you want to say 2005 was. They did CGI in unnecessary places where you don't need CGI. Like Tamora Morrison was wearing a clone trooper suit. His entire body was moving in CGI. And I was just like, why? Just put the guy in the suit and just have him stand there. I know you have 1,000 of him back there, but you don't need that for a one-on-one conversation. You just need him in a suit.
Yep.
But that was too much work.
Always.
It looked bad. I was like, this movie did a really, really bad job.
In so many ways.
And writing and screen effects alone, special effects alone, I couldn't stand it. You know what other show I couldn't stand was Supergirl.
She was all right when she was on other people's show.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the first season of her show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't. I tried. I gave it everything I could. And then I skipped forward to the Martian Manhunter stuff, and it was just really, 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 really bad. I hated it. My dad was all about it. He's like, it's really good. You just got to give it a chance. No, I don't.
I think sometimes it's one of those things where you like a character enough to where you're willing to forgive whatever it is, as long as you get to see it.
My dad just has bad opinions. That's basically just...
You say that often, so...
Yeah. I like my dad enough, but bad opinions all around. I got nothing else for news. Did you have anything this week?
I don't.
Yeah. I got nothing.
A pretty abnormally slow week.
It went very long, which is fine because I was off most of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was off most of the week, I think. Yeah, I go back Tuesday, Memorial Day, whenever that's all done. With that, you want to get into John Henry?
I don't think it's going to take very long.
No, it's not. This movie was bad.
Yes.
So we couldn't find any details on the budget for this movie.
They said micro budget.
So probably like 5 to 10 million.
If that, I would say 2 to 3 million.
Yeah, Because Terry Crews isn't much of a big actor, and neither is Ludacris.
I think they wanted to make this movie because both of them had producer credits.
That is true. They did both have producer credits.
Yes.
And then the director did the score, the
Mhm.
directing, the casting, and the writing. And he's never done anything else.
Will Hodges? Forbes, that's right.
Yes. And it was apparent that this guy had no creativity and no experience doing this.
It was really funny. When I was watching this movie, it's like one of those things where you have like a 1,000 word paper you need to write, and you've got 350 words, and you've capped out. So all you do is just stretch it out as much as you can.
As long as you can.
Yep.
And he stretched it out with these weird, like, I thought I was watching rap videos at points.
Yep.
And just bullshit, like, shots just filling up
of street signs and trees for a long time.
They would focus on it, and I was like, does this mean anything? It doesn't.
At one point, I fast forwarded on Netflix.
Yep.
I was watching a scene, and it's just like random stuff, like filming of trees.
Yep.
And it was 1 minute and 20 seconds long.
Oh my God.
So this movie was only 1 hour and 31 minutes, which usually I would say is perfect.
I'll watch an hour and 30-minute movie and won't feel like I wasted too much time.
Yeah, I'll watch a hour and 30-minute bad movie and not feel that bad about it.
Yeah.
But man, this movie only had 40 or 45 minutes of actual content.
So I woke up at 4 a.m. today, couldn't sleep. Because now back in my workout thing, I'm just waking up too early for no reason. And I couldn't sleep, so I was like, I'm going to watch the movie for this week. And 97 minutes went by, and I was like, that was a fucking waste of my time.
Oh, yeah. So I think that this movie would have been a better like YouTube series.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 YouTube shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it would have been awesome.
Okay. So what is the plot of this movie?
A former gang member meets up with 2 immigrants.
Yep.
And goes to war with his old
rival.
Yeah.
Who's his cousin.
Yes.
And
who's Ludacris.
Who's James Bond villain Jaws.
No.
What'd you say?
He's like a Power Ranger
Rangers villain.
Yes. He literally has like a metal biomechanical jaw
on the side. Like of gold. Like it was gold implanted or some shit like that. So you know the legend of John Henry. John Henry takes his hammer up to the mountain, digs a tunnel through it, and he dies whenever he's done with the tunnel or something.
He has a competition with the machine,
right?
Because they're gonna replace his job.
Yep, and he's like, I can do it better than a machine.
Yep,
and he goes up there, he doesn't rest, and he just tears down the mountain, and then he dies.
Yep.
This is not that. And they make you feel
kind of is.
Kinda. They make you feel like it is
for no reason.
They make you feel like it is because they keep making references to how strong John Henry is, and they say all the shit the legends say. You know, John Henry, he's so strong, and they do all the like little rhyming and shit like that. He's a strong guy. I mean, he's played by Terry Crews.
Yeah,
that guy's a monster. I would never talk bad about how strong he is, and he has a sledgehammer in one scene in the movie. But besides that, he's not John Henry, the guy that goes up to the mountain to fight the machine. He's a former gang member who has PTSD from guns.
Because he accidentally shot his cousin's jaw off.
Yep. Because his cousin's being kind of a dickhole.
Yeah.
And he kind of just minds his own business.
He did stomp a guy's head like a watermelon, though.
Saving his cousin.
Yes.
The guy pulled a gun on his cousin, and he stomped his living shit in.
You make it sound like he stomped him 100 times.
No.
Good stomp.
Yeah, he knocked him down, and he stomped on his head.
Yeah. Imagine.
It was flat. It was like a watermelon.
Yes. Smashing a watermelon with a cinder block.
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
But with his foot.
Yes.
And now he just takes care of his dad, who's in a wheelchair.
His raunchy dad.
Who's in a wheelchair complaining that his dick doesn't work anymore. Yes. That's all he
had a stroke at 52.
Yep.
And the main thing he's mad about is
his legendary dick.
His legendary dick doesn't work anymore.
Yep. And he brings it up a lot.
No, he doesn't.
He brings it up. I'm clapping for you. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's paralyzed is what it makes it sound like from the waist down or something like that.
Yeah.
And
until the bad guys knock on the door.
And then he stands up and his son's like, how the fuck are you standing up?
He's like, adrenaline's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah. So the whole plot of this is he's trying to save these 2 immigrants from his cousin, right?
Yes.
They're one girl was taken into human trafficking by his cousin, and she escapes thanks to the help of her brother.
Yes.
And she hides in John Henry's yard.
Yes.
He finds her. He welcomes her into his home, and he's like, we'll take care of you. Then when he finds out his cousin's involved, he gets involved. Because then he goes to his cousin. He's like, hey, man, leave him alone. He actually doesn't even meet him. He just like sits in his grandma's driveway.
I don't even know how anybody knew
Anything.
that she was there.
Right. Right. Emilio finds her, right? Her half-brother who lives in America finds her. And then the gang members find her.
Yeah.
And John Henry finds her. No one knows how. He just does it. I thought he was like a soothsayer or some shit like that. I thought it was going to be like legendary.
It didn't make any sense
at all. And he goes to his cousin in a way. He sits in his grandma's driveway waiting for his cousin to show up for some reason. And some guy shows up, gives him $50K.
His cousin.
Right. And says, leave.
Yeah.
Right. Or take care of the girl.
Bodies tomorrow, or else you can burn with them.
Yeah.
Because he burns people alive.
Right. So his idea is take the $50K and run.
What's his name? The bad guy's name in this?
Hell.
Yes. He burns people. His name's Hell.
Yep.
Now, we got into a conversation about what his actual name is.
Yes. I think it's Helen.
So there's a scene where Terry Crews, John Henry, is talking to his grandmother.
Yep. Graham.
Who is also Hell's grandmother.
Yep. Because they're cousins.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And he asks her, he's like, where is he? And she goes, I can't tell you. Long drawn out conversation. She finally says, his bills are in the drawer.
Yep.
I thought that he was having his bills forwarded to his grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said, no, Helen was his actual name.
Yep. Because the grandma says I think he sends a mail here because he doesn't want his people to know what his real name is.
Who names their son Helen?
Monsters. That's why the guy has a problem with respect.
Yeah.
Because his whole thing in the movie is, I just want respect. I don't even want money. I just want respect.
Yeah, I feel like if his dad would have named him Larry, everything would have been fine.
I think Larry, I still would have been pretty pissed off with my parents if you named me Larry. Like, anything else is fine.
Lawrence.
I go with Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence is a decent name. I mean, I guess it's just Larry.
Exactly.
Sure. That can be his gang name, though.
Larry.
Or Law. Law.
Sure.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Depends on how you spell Lawrence, I guess.
Yeah.
You can spell it both ways.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The movie's so bad.
Yeah. Nothing makes sense.
No. So he's taking care of this immigrant girl who doesn't speak English except for when she does.
And his dad speaks the most random, broken Spanish that apparently he learned in 1979.
Yeah, because he was dating
going to
a Puerto
night
Rican.
school.
Yeah, because he was dating a Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he took one semester of it, and now he's just fluent.
Kind of.
He can talk about like what color bats are in Honduras.
Right. He debates Honduran bats with this chick. And so they want to save her, and the gang shows up to kill John Henry and the girl. And they kill his half-brother, the girl's half-brother, I should say, Emilio. And what's the girl's name again? Berta.
Emilio.
Yeah, Emilio. She says that at one point when he gets shot. She's like, Emilio. Her name's Berta. And the dad tells him, get out through the back window or the AC or whatever.
He's randomly, all of a sudden, standing there after being in a wheelchair the entire
time.
Did you think the dad was going to be like, I was faking it?
Oh. That would have been pretty good, too. If he just, just went like...
I hate work.
Yeah. This bitty check's pretty nice.
Yeah.
He tells them go out through the AC, and they go and take the AC out the wall, they're going to get out.
And then all of a sudden, they
run back. They run back to the living room. For no reason, no shots went off, nothing. They're just back in the living room, and that's when he witnesses his dad get shot by a shotgun.
Yep.
So he's hiding behind a table, and they shoot a shotgun through this, particle board table.
Yes.
And the hole has to be the size of my head.
Oh, it's a softball size hole. Through his chest. You see it.
Yeah. Through the table and through his chest. But then when he stands up, he has the tiniest little bullet hole in his chest, and he's just fine.
Yeah.
And then he shoots his gas.
He lives for another 15, 20 seconds.
He shoots a gas canister.
An oxygen tank.
Yeah.
But he was never on oxygen.
He wasn't. Why do they have an oxygen tank in the house? Maybe he was at one point when he first had his stroke and it was just laying around.
Why not?
A very dangerous, pressurized canister just laying in their kitchen. Nothing wrong with that. But they get away. And no, sorry, they don't get away.
Yeah.
John gets shot in the head. He gets shot in the fucking head.
Yes.
He doesn't have a metal plate like The Rock did in that one movie, The Fast or
God,
whatever.
that was so bad.
Right.
Faster?
Faster, that's what it was. He had a metal plate and deflected the bullet.
Yep.
That's believable.
Sure.
To a point.
Why not?
It's bad, but, you know,
It did look like the bullet just grazed the top of his head.
Kinda. It looked like it went through here and came out here.
In the next scene, it was gone.
It was
so
gone.
it doesn't really matter.
It was gone. And that was the funniest shit to me. An old high school friend shows up to his house for some reason to get the girls out, to get the kids out.
Uh-huh.
And you never see him talk to her before that.
They talked at the pharmacy.
At the convenience store, right?
Yeah.
But never about picking up the people.
Hey, she was introduced. That was one of the few things the movie did that actually, I was like, okay.
That made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he texted her. I can buy that.
Yeah. Right. He ran into an old high school fling or whatever it was.
Yep.
And yeah, he goes to basically just go confront his cousin, who he then beats up one of his henchmen with a sledgehammer.
Beats up is an understatement.
He breaks her kneecaps.
Well, that's after he exploded one of the guys' heads with a sledgehammer.
Into a telephone pole, that's
Yep.
right. I did forget about that. And then he goes to fight his cousin, who's holding...
You forgot about the part where he beats down a drywall wall and a piece of wood flies off and sticks in somebody's neck.
Yeah, it went pretty over the top at that point.
And sprays blood on everybody's white
clothes.
clothes.
Because this gang, whatever the gang is called, Hell's Gang, essentially, Hell's Angels, they all wear white jumpsuits.
Yes.
I guess they want to be seen.
I guess. I don't know.
And so he confronts Hell in the front yard. And Hell, who apparently has a bunch of fucking money, lives in like a tiny home in South Compton.
Yes.
And
I don't think there's very many mansions in South Compton.
You don't have to live in South Compton, though.
He does. That's where his gang is.
You don't have to live there.
Hey, he's going to run his shit, okay?
Okay, I live 30 minutes from work. I don't have to live at my job. You know I'm right. How many other like Pineapple Express? He lives so far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hell's just burning people's mouths open.
Yeah.
In his house, people have to be hearing that shit next door.
Everybody in the neighborhood was watching.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit.
No, they did. It's just, what are they going to do? They're going to get burned up like them.
Yeah, they just left it alone.
Yep.
So he confronts his cousin in the yard. He gets shot 3 times. Once in the leg, twice in the chest.
Just once in the arm, once in the side.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. And then that henchman that was shooting him gets killed by another henchman because Hell was going to kill her.
Yes.
Earlier. So she betrays Hell. And then I'm guessing he beats the shit out of Hell with the sledgehammer.
It's just one shot.
Yeah.
He smashed his head.
Possibly, yeah, or something.
That was it. I mean, that's all the movie showed. So that's...
And then he falls over.
You forgot about the kid. So it's a really short scene.
Yeah.
But it was one of the funniest things in the whole movie.
Yeah, he ran into a kid in the
kid
street.
Runs up and tries to give John Henry his sledgehammer back so that he can have a chance at fighting.
Right. One of the kids watching in the yard.
A gun goes off and kid thinks he got shot. That's not the funny part. The funny part is his mom walks over and grabs him. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Well, she checks him first because he jumps back like he got shot.
Yes.
Like he got shot in the gut. He falls back and grabs onto his stomach or his chest, and he's like on his side in the fetal position. And the mom runs over all freaking out, like, "Oh my God." And she looks and she's like, "What was this, Day-Day?"
Yep.
She was, "Day-Day, what the hell you think you're, what the hell?" She takes
him off by the arm and drags him off.
"I'm going to beat the shit out of you." And it was a fake thing, like that henchman got shot, not the kid or whatever. And then he kills his cousin, and he falls over dead.
Like John Henry.
Like the legend. And then he's not dead because...
Was he not dead?
No, because the girlfriend came and grabbed his hand, or the girl from high school came to grab his hand, you know? Or somebody did. I'm guessing the girl from high school. Trish or something like that. Tasha, I think. Some shit like that.
She's in the movie for like 3 minutes. Right. So.
And then his hand closes.
Okay.
So I just assumed he was still alive. And that's why they'll probably make a sequel out of this.
They did say they wanted to make a sequel.
Right. I think he's still alive because that's what he did when she found him in the house after he got shot in the head. You know, he grabbed her hand.
He should be dead.
Yeah, he got shot in the head. He got shot in the arm. And then
I don't care about any of that. Like, if they're going to call the movie John Henry and base it on that, he should be dead.
Right.
This should be like some Gran Torino kind of stuff.
John Henry, he's so strong. They said that like 4 times what did his split his mom open when he was born
Mm-hmm.
or some shit like that. Dude, like, this isn't John Henry. This is such a bad attempt at a Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet, but it wasn't as over the top unbearable as that.
This was
movie.
just Gran Torino with no story development.
It had nothing. No, and on top, there's no good performances other than maybe the dad.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah.
He was at least enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm. Terry Crews sucked in this movie.
I think he was just doing whatever.
He made the weirdest faces.
Yeah, but
and
it was
he didn't talk half the time. He just stood there all
conscious
silent.
decisions.
Yeah.
I try not to.
I'm not much of a talker. And he's just like,
But he's talking all the time. Jason's making a face right now. It's surprisingly accurate.
it's the face he kept making the entire time. He would,
It's kind of like duck face.
yeah, and he like squeezed his eyebrows and just crinkle his little bald head. It was weird. And then he does one thing in the supermarket where he's like trying to dance like he was in high school still.
Yep.
It looked bad. The whole thing was bad.
And
I give this movie a 2
And then
out
he
of 10.
shaves for some reason.
He shaves his beard before he goes to kill his cousin.
Yeah.
He shaves his beard as if like his cousin wouldn't recognize this 6'8" monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
He rips off his sleeves.
I don't get it.
In the front yard, he rips off his
He does.
sleeves when he's looking at his cousin. Like, oh, you're gonna get it. Oh yeah, I'm John Henry.
Yep.
Yeah. It was-
Nothing in this movie made any sense.
Nope. He had a dog. Okay, so the opening scene of this movie, a white dog. He's building a doghouse for his dog,
What was
Called
the dog's name?
Towby. And
That's the dumbest name for a dog
It
I've
is.
ever heard.
And he has like a little like Pomeranian or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And a gangster from Hell's gang runs over his dog.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in like an Escalade. I didn't think you can even hit a dog that small in an Escalade. I thought you just... Because he hit it with his bumper because there's blood
Yep.
on the bumper. I thought that dog would have just went right underneath the car and been just fine. It wasn't. Who cares? He kills the guy's dog. And he's mad at the guy that his dog was in the street that he ran over.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to pay for this dent.
Yeah, and he pulls a gun out on John Henry, and all he does is pick up his dog and cry walking away.
Yep.
Instantaneously, I was like, okay, this is going to be Black John Wick. That's exactly what I thought this movie was going to be.
That part of the movie didn't even matter.
It didn't. It never came back up other than he likes to draw.
Berta drew a picture of Talby for him.
Who never even seen the dog.
No.
He went, I really regret not having any pictures of my dog, and I really wish I could have drawn her, but I just can't draw dogs. And then Berta walks up and goes, here's a picture of your dog. And he's like, oh, that's so sweet. And he's crying. And all I could think was, she's never seen the dog. And it looked just like the dog.
Yep.
How did she know? Did he leave his corpse in the garage?
Maybe in conversation. He
Yeah,
was
he
like,
went-
oh, I had this men pen
Yeah.
named.
And it was all the same day. Dog dies. Berta shows up in his yard. And the very next day is when the whole house thing happened.
Yeah.
It was a very short timeline.
Yep.
Which is fine, I guess. I'm glad
Yeah, it was
they didn't-
maybe 3 days.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't draw it up for too long. But
They would have had to show some more majestic shots.
yeah, and more rap video.
Yeah.
Because it literally was just rap music going on and then people dancing down the street or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, rolling down the street in my 6'4", whatever. And I was like, this is going on way too much.
And then they would show like old gang videos.
They
Back
did.
when-
They did flashbacks to old 1993. Speaking of the day that he clapped the guy
Mm-hmm.
was the day I was born.
Was it?
March 25th, 1994.
Really?
Yep. I thought that was kind of neat. It's like, hey!
The day he clapped the guy.
And it said like 1 p.m. or whatever. And I was like, hey, if that's LA and where I was born, that's probably close because I was born around like 4:50 p.m. And I was like, When that guy died, I was born. I'm trying to look
Maybe
up.
I'm that guy reincarnated.
Ooh. Is this based on a true story? I remember getting beat to death. I'm trying to look him up. He doesn't have a picture, the director. I just want to know who this guy is, because I hope he never makes movies again. I can't find him.
I couldn't find much on this movie either.
Yeah, this movie was done, with exception to Terry Crews and Ludacris, with a cast you don't know.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, the dad kind of looked familiar, Ken Foree, but I don't know. I think it was just his voice was very familiar to me, and I got a very Lawrence Fishburne impression out of the guy, especially in his flashback scenes.
I don't
He
know
was
how you,
in Kenan and Kel. Maybe that's where I recognize him.
I don't know how you gauge success with a Netflix movie. Because they were like, oh, from the teaming success.
I would say by critics' praise.
But there is none for this movie.
So this movie has no success. I agree. I gave it a 2 out of 10. It got a 3 out of 6 on IMDb. 3.5 out of 10. I mean, 3.10. I'm having a
stroke?
Yeah. Oh, God. My legendary dick is gone. 3.5 out of 10, right? And then Rotten Tomatoes gave it, what, like a 20-something?
Yes. 23, I think, is what it was.
And that wasn't even including the fans' score, which was just as low.
Yes.
And that's usually not the case. Usually when Rotten Tomatoes...
Oh, no. The 23 was the fan. Rotten Tomatoes didn't even rate it.
That's what it was. Yep. I remember that now. They had 17 raters, and they said no rating given yet, which is weird because I've seen movies with 5 ratings get, tomato meter.
Yes.
So I don't know how they ever decide that stuff, but...
They could have made this an hour-long TV special, like 47 minutes with commercials.
Yep.
And it would have been fine.
Yeah. I did not like this movie at all. I would never watch this movie again.
No.
I wanted to like this movie. I went into it thinking I was going to enjoy this movie a lot. And I just...
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, 26% is what it has right now. Yep. Really bad. Written by Will Forbes and Douglas Skinner. I don't recognize that name either. But yeah, it was produced by Terry Crews.
I think I'm going 2 out of 10.
Okay. Douglas Skinner, the only thing he's ever done to John Henry. So, 2 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's what I gave it. I'm good to move on. I am good to move on to movies watched this week. What'd you watch?
I started watching Criminal Minds again.
So, my great aunt watches that show
Uh-huh.
all the time. And I try to get into it with her. But there's so many characters. And I'd stop watching it for like a few days when she was watching it. And I come back to it. And there's like 40 new characters.
It takes no effort to watch.
Yeah.
And
It's one of those shows.
That's kind of where I'm at.
You kind of just walk away from it.
If you miss an episode or miss 20 minutes of an episode, it's no big deal.
I can appreciate shows like that know what they are. Law and Order was the same way for me.
Yeah.
But the only Law
It's
and
like
Order...
100 seasons of Law and Order.
Yeah. The only thing I can watch, though, is SVU.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because that's emotionally charging.
Because it's got Ice-T.
It's got Ice-T. It's got Luda in it. He's in like a whole like story arc of that.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's Ice-T's actual son.
Really?
In the show, but like Ice-T didn't know. Or some shit like that. And like, or he gave him up. Put him up for adoption or some shit like that. But then kept his other sons, and then Ludacris like wanted to ruin his life or some shit like. I just remember it was like a 5-episode thing.
Interesting.
Luda. I just wish you would say that shit. What else have you been watching besides Criminal Minds?
That's about it. I haven't watched a whole lot of stuff this week.
Oh, I watched Casino Royale again. So this week, come Thursday, we are launching our first episode of the Recreational Critics Quickies.
Brand new.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a little quick episode that is about movies we're passionate about or movies that just aren't tied to streaming services that we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be quick, little 10 to 15-minute episodes about how we felt about a movie.
Yeah.
This week was Casino Royale, a movie me and you both thoroughly enjoy.
Yes, one of our favorites.
And I had to have another excuse to watch it for the 3rd time in a month. So there I was, watch Casino Royale. I watched Under the Skin.
Yes.
Not very good up into like certain parts of the movie, but it's very arty. I just couldn't take it. I finished the Planet of the Apes movies, the War for the Planet of the Apes. I like all 3 of those, the Andy Serkis ones.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all pretty good.
I feel like there's only one of those that I haven't seen.
Have you seen
Is
the
there
one?
3 or 4?
There's 3. So
okay, I've seen all of them then.
Okay, yeah. It's only the 3 because the War is the last one where they take over basically. I watched Endgame. I watched Clone Wars, the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I finished that 7th season. Revenge of the Sith. It was popped on my Disney Plus for some reason. So I was like, I'll sit down and watch it. I don't give a shit. And that's where the whole bad CGI came in. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Nice.
Came up. Anon. It's on Netflix. It's one of their originals. One of their sci-fi spy kind of things with an alien. Not good. I watched Austin Powers, Goldmember. And then today I watched Logan. And I love that movie.
It's so good.
So good. And I forget how much I love that movie.
Yes.
God.
It's the direction that they should have gone from the very beginning.
And the thing is, I was thinking about it today watching it. You don't even need to throw in, like, you could have got the other X-Men movies did not have to exist for this movie to succeed. There wasn't really any reference to any of the other movies other than Statue of Liberty was a long time ago kind of thing or whatever. If you just kind of knew it, even if you didn't know it, they explained it well enough. Like, we're mutants and mutants aren't around anymore.
You mean good writing can make up for everything?
Weird, right? You hire decent writers who are like
passionate about the product.
Yeah, we can do this. I just love so much about it how it even ties in like real life stuff, and they're like, there's X-Men comics based on like their crazy stuff that probably hit the news or whatever, or was like big shit.
Or what do you do when a super mutant starts getting dementia?
Right.
And
that's one of the greatest things about it is you see this guy who can't control his powers anymore, who's accidentally killing people.
Yeah.
And it's a moral dilemma of whether you keep him alive because you love him and he's trained you your entire life or whatever, or the last 30 years of your life, or you let him die.
Yeah. If at any point you ever liked the X-Men movies,
right,
Logan will tear your heart out.
Oh yeah. And I've had people watch it and go, I don't like it because it doesn't have a good ending. Go fuck yourself.
But it does.
In a way, right? If it was a prophecy from the Wolverine, you know what prophecy that is? He dies with his heart in his hand because he's holding his daughter's heart, his daughter's hand. And Laura is his heart. Make me cry just thinking about it. I just wish the X-Men movies, if they ever do a reboot, which I'm sure the MCU is going to do, they've been talking about it, they go comic booky and they put them in the costumes.
Yeah.
Just commit.
Have you thought of anybody that could play Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman.
So
I know he doesn't want to.
He's also getting older.
He is, but Wolverine can be older. You can have that.
No.
Yes, you can.
He needs to be replaced. It's not that I actively want him to be replaced.
What if you introduced him in it, right? What if, okay, my whole thing is, why can't the X-Men have already been here all this time?
I'm just saying that if you're going to reboot it.
Yes. Have them already be there. Don't do another origin story for the X-Men, and them building the school.
Do you really want 60-year-old Hugh Jackman?
What if he's in it and he dies, Old Man Logan style, okay?
He already did.
No,
they did that. I don't want to watch it again.
And he dies Old Man Logan style in the adamantium, the way it's done in the comics. We're going off the rails on movie reviews here.
You're good.
Then he has someone else take up his mantle, like an X-23 or something.
So there just is no more Wolverine.
It doesn't need to be a Wolverine. It doesn't matter who wears the mask. What does they say in Batman Begins?
Anybody can be a hero.
It's not about what you do. I forgot, or how you do it that defines you or some shit like that. Anyone can wear the mask. Who gives a shit? You've heard it in every superhero movie ever. Spider-Man's done it. They've all done it. Actually, what Spider-Man movie did that? It was Into the Spider-Verse one. I did like that one a lot. I don't know. Who do you think could be Wolverine?
Zac Efron.
He's short enough. He's short enough and he's built. You have to get him bigger, though.
Dude, he's a monster.
Yeah, but you have to get him even bigger.
Dude, he can't get any bigger.
I think you could. Get him Eddie Hall big.
Have you seen Baywatch?
Get him Eddie Hall
Oh,
big.
my God. Have you seen Baywatch?
Yeah, he looked good in it.
That guy is huge.
Yeah, I'm looking
and he's small enough, I think, that people would be less mad about,
Right. And he's young enough. I mean, you can pull he hasn't aged much in the last 10 years or 15 years that he's been acting, so you can pull the whole card of, I'm 150 years old, and I look good, because he's probably going to look this way for another 20 years. He's going to be the next Tom Cruise.
Yeah. And he's a pretty funny dude. You ever watched his YouTube channel?
Mm-mm.
So he'll work out with like pro athletes,
right,
and go to the gym with them. It's actually really interesting.
Oh, okay. John Berthow.
Okay.
He'd be pretty good.
But he already plays the Punisher.
Yeah, but they're not part of the MCU. Don't
they're
give me that
supposed
look.
To be.
Sure, but no one includes them at all. And by supposed to be, I mean they mentioned one time there was an alien attack in New York, and they never mentioned anything else.
So, John Bernthal, I can only think of him as Shane from The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
You can't protect a Rick. Jason's rubbing his head right now. It's so good.
The way he does it every episode.
He played that role so well.
Yeah, the lunatic who lost his mind.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so good, but it was so laughable.
Yes.
Because it's the same lines over and over again, and how he would put his head down and shake his head,
but
or rub his hand through his head.
You had a bunch of people mailing it in on an apocalypse show.
Yeah.
And then you had John Bernthal
who just
crushing it.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of upset when he died, but like kind of happy at the same time because you're like, oh, fuck yeah, that little douchebag. Because he killed Dale, or his zombie killed Dale.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Something to do with...
I remember he shot that dude in the knee so that he could get away.
Oh, Otto or some shit like that. Dude, that was brutal. But it's some shit I do. I hate to break it to people who are listening to this. Don't try and survive in a zombie apocalypse with me.
You should reflect on that.
Because first off, my plan is I have a gun. And I have 3 rounds designated for myself.
Jesus Christ, dog. Jason. Shut the fuck up.
Have you ever seen The Mist?
Yes.
I freak out about that kind of shit all the time.
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation?
I don't know.
Yeah, would you just wait it out?
Yes.
Really?
Why not?
I don't know if I would want to.
Do you know how long you can live inside your house?
No,
without going out of it?
Not like that. I get it. Like, not leaving my house, if I was in no danger at all, surviving, fine. I mean, they're at the door.
No, I'm not.
I look out my window, there's 100 zombies at my door, and I have 15 shots.
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation?
I bought a pretty nice house. It's pretty strong. A lot of concrete.
You have a wooden door still, though.
Dude, that's a solid wooden door.
Sure, but it just takes a little bit. They'll come through it.
No, man. Some shambling...
Your daughter broke your window.
Some shambling piece of... That window's 20 feet off the ground.
What if it was World War Z zombies?
Dude, there's worse problems to have.
Like what?
Dude, the World War Z zombies were eating people in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's fair. You wouldn't suffer.
No.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. But still, it'd be terrifying to have that happen to you.
It's such a dumb premise.
Sure. Whatever, man. We're going back to the Wolverine talk. Tom Hardy.
I don't really like Tom Hardy.
You're crazy. Charlie Hunnam? He was in Sons of Anarchy. Yep. Oscar Isaac.
I don't know that.
Poe Dameron from the Star Wars movies.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He could do it.
Did you just look up who could play Wolverine?
Yeah. And then the last one here, honorable mention, Danny DeVito.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, he can do it, but Hugh Jackman's too old.
Dude, imagine that. Dude, okay, imagine a good writer trying to do that well and really trying to sell you on it. Like, he's not the Wolverine we wanted.
Right, but he's not the Wolverine we wanted.
But he's the one we deserved.
Batman, you're not making any sense.
5'1", 300-pound Danny DeVito.
Batman, you're not making any sense.
He's immortal with adamantium claws.
Oof.
They're like, who spent all this money on this guy? Like, you know those guys who make race cars out of really dumb cars? That kind of person.
Yeah. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd pay to see like a short on that. Like a little Disney short.
But it would have to be done really well.
Yeah. It could just be kind of
like
silly.
Russo brothers well.
It could be kind of silly, and I'd still just watch it. I'm excited for how MCU's gonna go when they introduce Fantastic Four and X-Men.
I wish they would start talking about it.
They have been. Just
not really.
Tentative ideas.
Yeah.
I
want them to start laying it out.
Right, but you go like, hey, we're gonna do X-Men. Woo! Hall H and Comic-Con goes wild.
Yeah.
And they never talk about it again. I want them to have already been there. Like, Fantastic Four is already out in the world doing their thing.
I don't want that.
I kind of do. Or you can I thought they kind of would have with time travel stuff, with Endgame. But if you want, you can wait till after Doctor Strange comes out, where they go into reality warping thing, and maybe he warped reality enough to where he pulled in other universes.
See, I think that they can get their powers after.
Mm-hmm. The snap could have caused it. The snap released energy. So what if you said the snap is what gave the Fantastic Four their powers?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some consequence of.
Mm-hmm. You can make that happen. But X-Men's going to be harder to incorporate because X-Men have been around for, centuries. So how do you do that? Yeah. Not X-Men, but mutants have been around for centuries. A little bit different, but I'm sure they can do a good job. They have some decent writers there. So I'm going to throw a little curveball your way because we're done with the episode this week.
Oh, no.
You're going to do the closing remarks this week. You have no training. Nothing.
Nope.
You're doing it.
How am I supposed to do that?
You hear me say it every week.
I do. But I usually I'm sitting here thinking of something witty to say.
Well, I'll think of something witty today.
Maybe next week.
No, you got to do it now. It's not this curveball.
Well, thanks for listening to the episode.
Yep.
You can reach out to us on all the social media networks that Jason's going to link inside the Spotify. We'd love to hear you at our Gmail, Twitter, or Facebook.
Yep.
I think we even have an Insta. So hit
You're
us up.
supposed to be maintaining the Instagram. I have not logged in once.
I am the worst person.
Mm-hmm. You told me
hit us up.
This,
we would love to hear from you.
Yep.
Tune in next week when we watch
Lovebirds.
And
we will be holding hands while watching it together.
We're going to watch it together.
If you want to.
Oh, and listen on Wednesday for the first ever Thursday.
Yes.
For the first ever Recreational Critics Quickie, where we talk about Casino Royale.
That's right.
A movie we legitimately love, but we're still going to find a way to crap on it.
That's right. So reach us at Twitter, Facebook, or email. You can find me on Twitter at jpaul_94. Do you have a tweeter?
I don't.
You need to make a tweeter. That way they can talk to you. I think people would rather talk to you than they'd rather talk to me.
Maybe.
It might hurt my feelings a little bit. But you guys know what? If you want to reach James, just go to at jpaul_94 also.
Yeah.
Other than that, thank you, everyone. I'll see you next time, critics.
Have a great week.
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.